You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hey there, welcome to the show. Today, Paul and I are continuing our adventure through point-and-click games. So we're kind of going to do the 1992 to 1994 ranking of all of the exciting games that came out during that time, most of which this time I've actually played. How about you?
I haven't looked at the list, so I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to go with all of them except for some of them is what I played. Yeah, precisely. So this is going to be good. We're going to listen. We're going to get in and get out. This is going to be it's going to
As
be
we do.
with surgical precision this episode. We're just the facts, man. We're just here to give you guys the facts. Actually, straight off the bat, there's no game from 92 in this. So one of our initial facts is wrong. This will be from 93 to 94-ish. Just a big old ish.
Ish.
And it starts, I'm just going to get us right into this one, Anna, if you don't mind. Because oh man, it's so funny. There's a point in Phantom Post where you could type a name in, and if you type Anna's in, it has a specific message that Pushing Up Roses saw, and she messaged me the other day, and she's like, "You need to message Anna." Or wait, no, you need to tell Anna to check her messages. I was like, I know, Anna. But anyway,
that's true. I'm way behind now. You guys got me now. The game knows me better than I know me, it turns out.
So we're gonna start with Leisure Suit Larry 6. Shape up or just slip on out. And it's a 93. It's Larry 6. So Anna, you're our resident Larry historian. So I'm gonna give this one off to you to start with.
I mean, it's a cool game. It's got this game played with different perceptions of a scene, right? You've got different angles. You've got a lot of underneath kind of looks. You've got it did a really good job, I think, playing with the different angles, with different framings of scenes, with colors. It was a funny game. It was more traditionally back to what I wanted a Leisure Suit Larry game to be. So as hard as I may have been on Leisure Suit Larry 5, I'm not going to be hard at all on Leisure Suit Larry 6. It took back a little bit of the difficulty. It brought you 9 breathtakingly beautiful babes. Come on. It was funny. It was a good game. It was a pretty game. It didn't have that 90s vibe aesthetic kind of going to it. It was a little bit more updated, because they played really hard into what was it? Memphis design in the 5th one, and in the 6th one it was a little bit more modernized. I actually have a 2014 calendar that Roberta V had gotten me that was a extra for one of these game versions, and each month of the calendar is one of the girls, the babes from this game, and then some various scenes. So.
Well, I feel a strange compulsion to explain Memphis design every time it's brought up, so we got to stop bringing it up, because it's that 90s design with the squigglies and the triangles, and they got it from the name. They got the name from it from a Bob Dylan song called something 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 Memphis, and in the music video, Bob Dylan dressed like that, and then that inspired this whole wave of designs like that. And you've seen it in Rocco's Modern Life and Doug and all those 90s cartoons, and probably on your foam cups and on the carpet in the mall, and that's Memphis design. But back to Larry 6, this is a great game if you want a good ball sack shaped pool. Maybe it's boobs. That's the beauty of nature, is that they look a little similar in silhouette form, I guess. No, to die on that hill, but why not? Who cares? It does, objectify and whatever other PC words for women, but they're diverse. This cast of sexualized women are extremely diverse. So credit where credit's due is all I'm saying there. They're what Wayne might call bonerific.
Bonerific. Dude, I cannot do a Wayne's World accent.
My personal favorite is the yoga chick with the, I don't know with the what. She's not actually wearing anything to describe her. So which is
No, no.
the one in the sleeping, mantis position or whatever. So look,
Right.
I only did
The
yoga
lotus
once.
girl. She's a hottie though. She's super cute.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah,
She's very zen. She's wearing see-through clothes. Like, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, I could get real creepy with this for sure, real quickly. It's not a
for
problem.
sure. What about mud bath girl?
Well, instead, I'm gonna veer off and talk about the one time I went to yoga. Boy, what a mistake that was, because I chose the kind of yoga where it's real hot in there for some reason.
Oh no, you did the hot Birkham yoga
Yeah,
or
Bikram,
whatever.
whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Super hot. Just smells like other people's feet. It was the
Yeah.
worst. Just the
No.
worst stench you could possibly. It was musky and just I could taste the air. It was thick.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, don't do yoga? Is that my message here? I don't think.
Don't do it. Don't do a hot yoga.
Yeah, at least not for your
No.
first yoga. It was a bad yoga.
You've
Um
been scarred and now you will never again.
Exactly. Yeah, and I used to be flexible. I was an ice hockey goalie. We had to be. We had to be. I used to be able to do that matrix bullet dodging thing just from playing goalie. Like you can get into weird. Like it doesn't. This is none of this is about Larry. So Larry, I would say it's still got a pretty wildly '90s design. You're
Mhm.
right though. It's not as Memphisy, but it's still really '90s. It's really fun
A
to
lot
look
of
at.
pink, a lot of purple, a lot of cool shades in that, like a lot of play with color contrast and backgrounds. Like the backgrounds weren't always like whatever would be in the background of the character. Sometimes it's just like a bit of a solid screen or a little hint of what the background could be. I think they had a for sure.
It's like almost an extension. Well, it has a bit of a LucasArts vibe. I feel like Sierra's like the Larry series in particular got a little like bendy and wavy and cartoony in design for the better. Um,
Mhm.
Devil is Due LucasArts does do it better, but this still gets pretty close to that kind of cartoonishly bendy design. Yeah, a lot of pink, a lot of purple. Maybe that's why I say it's so fun to look at. I love some pink. No, you shut up. Um,
And okay, the box has, which is interesting. It's the first game in any of my Sierra games that has a rating. It's rated by the VRC MA17, not appropriate for minors. And then right next to it, the longest, hardest Larry yet, which is
uh,
great because there's two covers. There's the bungee jumping one, and the one I have in front of me here is the steam room version, which is my preferred one.
the Steam Room version. What's that?
Yeah, he's in a steam room, and four of the ladies from the game are
Oh,
wiping mud off of him because he's just
right.
finished up in the mud bath, and his sunglasses are all heated up, and the six is actually drops of water.
So, well, that just blew my mind. I didn't realize that there was the two different boxes until now. Right. So the bungee jumping one would be the CD-ROM release.
Mhm.
You could tell by the box size and the way Sierra's on the bottom there. And then yeah,
Just
the mud
open
one
it.
must be the floppy version. Um,
It is the floppy version, MS-DOS Windows 3.5 version 1.0.
was this the one with the boardwalk or was that 5?
The 5 was the one with the boardwalk.
Interesting. So I remember 5 more than I remember 6. Why?
5 is the one where Al Lowe was driving around on his little golf cart and kind of like giving you directions on where to go between every scene, and you'd go up into different rooms and
Yeah.
stuff. This one was at La Costa Lotta Spa. So there was like the kind of like it was neat because it was like a mall kind of an atmosphere because it was inside a building with recreational activity, but there
Right,
was still
right.
some beach scenes and pool scenes.
No, thank you for framing it that way. That hit the spot. Now I remember. Right. And because it gives you that
Hmm.
cool I don't know, Space Quest 4 vibe where you could pop in wherever you wanted to, or so it felt.
Hmm.
Anywhere within the building. Yeah. I mean, if I break it down further, it's just gonna sound stupid to say you could go in the rooms that you wanted to in this game, but it was a
Yeah.
feel, okay? It was a feel, you
It
guys.
was it was a vibe.
It was
It
a
was
vibe.
a vibe. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one since we can't can we are we gonna do half scores this time? Because
We
I
should
remember
do
being
half
slightly
scores.
disappointed
Yeah.
that because this is an 8.5 for me.
I also like the idea of none of our ranking episodes being done the same way. There's
Yeah, just slightly, just like us, slightly different every time, but with a vein of consistency that's
right.
just enough to hold it all together. You're
Yes,
welcome.
a glint, a knowing glint that says, "Hey, it's us in here, you guys."
I
Um,
did pick up extra glints this morning, and they were knowing. How did you know?
knowing like whatever bad guy from King's Quest 6. So
Mhm.
there's your
Yeah,
daily dose of King's Quest.
Mordak, I think.
Or what did screen? Okay, that's a dead end. Forget it. Abandon it. You put 8.5. I'm gonna give it a 8 because I
Yeah,
am struggling to remember it, which is not a good sign.
right. But you're probably not struggling to remember the next game on our list, which is Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers.
Wow, nice transition. That was solid. This is radio, people. We're in the big leagues. I love this game so hard. What about you? This isn't tropey. Or that's the wrong word. Whatever. This isn't words for me trying to get you to talk while I search it. It is also that, but it's not primarily that. I don't think I actually know how you feel about this game.
Interesting. Well, I have a signed copy of it in front of me, signed by Jane Jensen and Robert Holmes, which I'm very excited to be able to have in my possession. I love that it came with a comic book that gives you some of the prequel
Yeah.
story. And it's one of the coolest big boxes. There's like, I don't know how many discs are in this sucker. I think like 11 discs
14,
to be able to play this game.
12.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in
so
myself that I don't know
definitely.
that. I think it's 14, but it might be 12. It's not
Didn't we
11.
do an episode? Did we do an episode about this game? Didn't we?
Did we not? If
I
we,
thought we did because I played it, but I don't know if we ended up
it was gonna be
because
for
I was like,
Halloween one year,
I remember telling you that I thought I was surprised because remember it had swear words in it.
right?
And it was the first game where I'd ever super duper encountered the swear words. And I told you about, I remember talking about Deaths of Story and Laura Lee Shannon. So we must have already covered it. And so, go listen to that and it'll tell
If
you.
it exists, I mean, what a goose chase
If
you
this
just sent them
exists.
off on. I got to tell you, just
But yeah, with Detective Mosley and The Secret and the characters, it's so much so that remember I started playing Gabriel Knight 2 for a follow-up episode, but we ended up stopping because we did Toonstruck instead or something like that. We
right.
actually, it was a whole process we were
And
going to.
I maintain. I feel like somebody backed me up on this. It might have been Jackie, but somebody backed me up it was definitely Jackie's story. Backed me up on Gabriel Knight 2 is a slow burn, and it kind of lost you. So I
It did.
maintain if you give it another chance and just muscle through the beginning, which is what everybody loves to hear when they're being convinced to play something. You just
Yes.
gotta grit your teeth and get through it.
But okay, the whole reason I was intimidated by Gabriel Knight 1 was initially when I was younger, because I didn't encounter it right when it first came out, was the menu system. Because I was like, why are there so freaking
Yeah.
many icons up in here? We've got like eyes, and we've got a boot, and a question mark to ask a question, and an exclamation mark. Now I've decoded it because I played it. But before I played it, it all seemed very confusing. And you've got like the grab and the open of the door and the interact with something, and then you've got the push, and then you have to remember to record specific conversations and be able to reference them later, and then the whole inventory, and then yeah, it was
And
like
that's
intimidating.
and on top of that, really, it was almost known for its dialogue trees. Like it was really investigatory and leaned heavily on
Mhm,
on dialogue based investigation. They could have, first of all, even the developers got extremely confused with the interface, like to the point where
mhm,
we're not even halfway through the game, like you stop using a lot of them because
mhm.
I'm not sure they could even keep up. They're just like, you know what I mean? Like there was things that you would use like once ever and then never again, and
Yeah.
things that could arguably work on, let's say, opening a door that like was inconsistent because I think at some point they just stopped remembering that other things did the same things. It was a mess. It was like, I don't know. It was something I could see how on paper it was brilliant, but just when
Mhm,
you put it into practice, it was too many moving parts. And I was gonna say that the tape, whatever you call it, the little micro, cassette player recordy jobber,
mhm.
was really fun and was underused. Unless,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I think it was underused in both games. But I really liked that mechanic, and I wanted more of that. Um,
Mhm.
if anything.
Yeah,
And
it was fun. Once I unlocked it and figured out how it all went down, I really enjoyed, like, I liked this game. I'd never been so intrigued by a multi-layered story as I was in this game. It's not just like one story all the way through. You've got stories, you've got ripples of other stories, you've got history and choreography and character development. And Jane Jensen just absolutely flew it out of the park with this one. And to be fair, the music was captivating. And Robert Holmes also, the two of them worked together to weave this super elaborate tale of more than just voodoo.
yeah, the two of them work so well together that everybody in the office is like, "You guys should totally hook up,"
Yeah. And they did.
and it was very squishy and just.
So squishy.
um, yeah, I don't know. I really love this game. I didn't play it as a kid. I'm not sure if I kind of have this really vague memory that my mom didn't want me to play it. And looking
Mm.
at the box cover, fair enough. I guess that's where the line was drawn. It has to be. It's got to be drawn somewhere.
Hmm.
So I didn't get to experience it as older. I would say if you haven't played this game, it's I don't know. I change this on a daily basis, but it's definitely maybe the best Sierra game there is in my opinion. I
Hmm.
because my other game that with reverence of that degree, and I'm not including Gold Rush and stuff like that because it's like I'm trying to more represent like the best of Sierra in this sentiment as opposed to like a personal bias or a choice blatantly made with heavy doses of nostalgia for me. For me, but I would
Mm.
say that Larabo 2 is the other one that comes to my mind a lot as far as the best of Sierra, but that game is bullshit. There is so much about that game that's bullshit that it's like that I've just patched in my memory. I've just like copy and deleted certain things. I'm just like, nope, that didn't happen. It was a delightful
No.
time. But Gabriel Knight isn't like that. It's a lot more solid. Yeah, the user interface is a bit overwhelming. Let's say, if you play the talkie version, the narrator is infamously slow, and kind of drags things out. I don't. I personally, I like the floppy version. I'm not a big talkie guy, as it turns out.
Hmm.
The more I get to know myself, 'cause it's like, this is a great cast of characters, like individual characters like Mosley and Gabriel, and it's a I don't know, it plays well in your head if you're the type to give them voices and have fun with that. Like it's yeah. What are you giggling about?
No, I'm just.
What did I say that sounded penis like or whatever?
It was
Oh,
a good game. It was definitely, I'm not sure. I'm now, after listening to you talk, I'm not sure if I'm even going to rate it as high as you are right now.
no,
I feel like you're going to put this at like a 10. I kind
no, definitely,
of,
definitely. Yeah.
are you? Yeah, no. Hmm. I don't know that I can rate it higher than Leisure Suit Larry 6. I have such a hard time fighting nostalgia, Paul.
No, and that's fair. You don't give it what your heart, requires.
8.5. It
Unbelievable.
is just the same as Larry.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
the idea of making you feel comfortable to do something and then immediately judging you for doing it. I can't
Yeah, no,
believe you.
that's my whole life. It's okay.
Anna
I
under
do it to
gaslight.
myself. I make myself comfortable to make a decision, and then I make the decision. And I'm like, "What the hell were you doing?" I mean, come on. I think a lot of us do that, right?
Oh, for sure. I always should
Mhm.
follow my instinct unless I shouldn't have followed my instinct.
My instinct is spot on, except for when it's so not.
Except for when it's all psych.
I don't have a big box. I have only a
Well,
CD
that's
jewel
never
case
mind.
for Police Quest Open Season because it it disappointed me
I did
because
throw
all
you
of
a
a
little.
sudden
Good.
I'm like,
Good.
"Who the hell is John Kerry?
Listen to how
Like, who the
professional
hell
she's
is this
being.
guy?" Where was, like, I felt the same with, King's Quest VIII, great game, but, like, who the hell is Connor? I'm just like, "Oh, okay, so now this dude's a homicide detective, and we're just gonna go right out into the story." And again, it was the entry into the police procedural section of the game. It was by, what, that controversial dude, wasn't it? Was this a Daryl F. Gates,
Hmm, hmm.
I think, thing too, right? So,
I feel like I
and I don't. Hmm?
sorry. Yeah, it was the L.A. police chief from during the Rodney King situation, and then I was thinking of that Sublime song, April 29th, 92, and I was like, was that
Oh
the day
yeah.
that that happened, or was that just the riots, or were the riots the same day? They're probably like the day after. Doesn't matter. It's a good song though. The
Because I
game, not so
remember them
much.
getting a lot of no, it's just I don't know. I played it, I finished it. The graphics were amazing, and it was just like playing a TV show. At least I thought so at the time. But it's lost its heart in this game. And I felt like sometimes you're literally doing what the damn game's telling you to do, and you're still messing up. And it's like, oh, this is wrong. You're gonna die. It's like it was not easy. It was all about timing. It was, yeah, it
So
wasn't my favorite.
you did play it?
Oh yeah, I finished it. I played all the Police Quest games. I even played the first SWAT game.
Gross. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, a few
Mm.
things. One, that the bassist for Sublime, Eric Wilson, is probably the greatest melodic bass player of all time. Just to throw that out there. Like I'm using my time to talk about Sublime instead because I am uninspired by Open Season. No, I haven't played Open Season. Maybe I should have been transparent about that in the beginning.
No, I
Or
didn't
maybe I should have
realize
looked at
that.
this list before we recorded. Look, this is neither the time nor the place to go through my many regrets. But yeah, no, Eric's a great bass player, and this game, it's not fun to look at.
All right, so we have a ranking, and it doesn't matter. Should I just leave it out?
Yeah, yeah, because we both didn't play it.
Well, I did.
Or sorry, we both
We both
as
didn't.
a total,
Yes,
right?
I see what you're saying. All right, I get it. Okay, so next on the list is kind of fun because I'm representing here with two big boxes. One which is sealed. Yes, I came across this on the last episode. Yes, it is sealed. No, I will not open this one because it is signed by Josh Mandel and Al Lowe, and it's sealed on the shrink wrap. Like it's signed, sealed, shrink wrapped, as in if I open it, I'll lose the
Oh,
signatures.
you made that make sense. Good job. Okay,
Thank
I got
you.
it.
No, it was a journey to get there, but I do have a big box of Freddie Farkas that I can open, the brown one that has um, the embossed pattern around on the front lid, and then the gold on the Sierra logo.
And that's the one to have. It's like very saddle like. It's got the what's like reverse embroidery, like when it pops out instead of in. Doesn't matter. It's got
Right.
it's got that.
You can touch it. Yes, the
You
embossed.
can, yes. Yeah, embossed. Very nice. Very good. Thank you. I got the black one too, but it was like very stepped on. Very.
Wow. The black one's kind of hard to get. I think the lovely person who got it for me had to pull quite a few strings to get it, so it's very appreciated.
The game itself, man, we never did do that episode on this.
Oh my god, are you for real?
Yeah, you remember that? It was going to be our
Okay,
triumphant return.
we made a little meme about, and
Right.
Paul put himself and me into a Freddie Farkas picture by the water tower, and I made some sort of a joke with it saying that he was going to get his teeth done. I'll be back later, and then almost a year went by.
That's
We
right.
didn't have any episodes, and we never went back to the Freddie Farkas episode.
Right. Exactly. For long-time listeners, this was when I took a sabbatical.
Mhm.
If that's even the right word, and had a bunch of dental work done, a bunch of stuff drilled into my jaw and implants and blah blah blah. And Sarah Kelly came on and co-hosted with Anna for a bit, and then this was going to be like our triumphant return, and we even had a meme about it where we announced it all professionally and then just dropped the fuck out of the ball. We didn't forget though, because we were talking. We just like all at
Mhm.
once lost all of our enthusiasm to do the episode. You know what it was?
Mhm.
We played the game way too soon. And then by the
Mhm.
time I was actually ready to come back, we were like, I don't remember it, and I really don't want to play it again because I just played it 8 months ago. Like,
Right.
we played it just recently enough to not want to see it again, but to not be able to remember it sufficiently for an episode. Yes.
I did really okay. So this is a Western themed game, and this came up. I was on a stream with One Short Eye earlier, and it hit me kind of like out of the blue. Is I was like, we have a Western themed game from Sierra, but I don't think we ever got a gangster themed game.
Hmm. Right. Right. That's see, I like that. Maybe a long time ago we did an episode similar to this, but it might be fun in the future to try to conceptualize missing Sierra games.
Mhm.
Um,
Like the early Mafia was influenced by the Gangster Sierra game where you had to like be a crime boss or something.
right, like what tropes, especially in cinema, did Sierra not cover?
Mhm.
Because I remember Ken Williams saying that one of the quests that never quite happened, that almost happened, as far as a blank, space quest, King's Quest, etc. One of the quests was going to be like a law quest, like a legal
Mhm.
courtroom
Yeah,
drama.
Legal Quest. That would have been awesome, man.
Right.
Like the original Ace Attorney games. Hmm.
Right, exactly. So it might be fun to go over what other quests could there have been, such as Gangsta Mob Quest or whatever, which I can now
Mhm.
talk about because it's the the whole Sopranos era was well behind us. It got a little insufferable there for a while, but it's likely it's thinned out again. So
Mhm.
um
But this
okay,
one's set in the wild, wild west, and Freddie
all
Farkas,
right, yeah.
he was a gunslinger, and he wasn't like maybe the most top shelf kind of a fellow. But he got into a gunfight, and he lost some of his ear, and ended up deciding to settle down and become a pharmacist. But as does often happen with heroes, he found out that just living the simple life wasn't exactly written in the cards.
Right. You kind of set that up for me to take the reins, and I don't know what to say. I that was yours was very confident sounding. It scared me because it was like, um,
Mixed. Okay, this game is the first game I ever got that included a hint book,
mhm.
and I'd never had a game with a hint book before, and it was right there, and I was like, "Oh, that's okay. I'm just going to play the game. I'm not going to use the hint book. I'm going to do the right thing." And then I start playing the game, and then I start trying to figure out all the like the different combinations for the pharmaceutical stuff, and the next thing you know, I think I used that hint book all the way through that damn game because I realized I'm just as weak as anybody else. Gimme, gimme, gimme hints. And thank frickin' heck I discovered all of these games before the internet, or I would have done the same damn thing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for saying that, because I remember rushing through Thimbleweed Park to play it before a hint book came out, and
Hmm.
this is proof of concept where it's a
Hmm.
good thing I did that, because that was the mind frame. Where it's like, as soon as there's a hint, you're gonna know. Once you know, it's like it's just this. I don't know. It's like when you know of like a 6-month-old candy bar on the third shelf of your pantry and you're trying to diet. Like, it's
Hmm.
there and it's gonna
You
get
know. You know.
eaten.
It's not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna wait. Yeah. No, it was a it was a fun game. I like the jokes. I like how it made fun of like Cedric the Owl, or it had like I like those little in jokes in the Sierra games that would reference the other games, and I like the way they put it all together. And again, yes, stereotypes, this and that, time of it, game of its time of its game. It is what it is. I think. I don't know. I'd rate it pretty high. I like
No.
the potion making, but
Oh,
I'm not sure.
okay. Hold on. What is your? Because I'm just to save time. I agree with everything Anna said. Like, it might even be an underrated game. It's so good.
Mhm,
Like, it's not, maybe it's not underrated, but undermentioned, or it's so good. The characters are
mhm,
are extremely well fleshed out. Um,
mhm,
they're interesting. They're fun. They're funny. They're charming. Like, the game is really charming. That's another thing. And the story, the character, Freddy's arc itself is unique. It's not
mhm,
as tropey as you might think. Like, he has his own pretty interesting spin on what you, I don't know, subversion of expectations as far as like him as a character. Um,
mhm,
and then there's the mechanic of being a pharmacist, which is, we've talked about it on this whatever it's called, show thing before, that it's super fun to make the damn drugs. It's so much fun. Like, it's so
yeah,
satisfying. I wish there was more of it in the game,
me
and
too.
there's a decent amount of it too. I just wanted more. It was that fun. So, what is your criticism? Why, look, if you were to start at 10 and chisel it down from a 10, why?
Hmm, that's a really good question. I mean, it's not exactly absolutely direct. It does definitely, and maybe because I started it that way, it does definitely, for me, need some hints to get through. It wasn't entirely logical from beginning to end in that way. Like there was a little bit of moon logic in it. Hmm. But yeah, there's really not a lot for me to take away from it. I think the only thing I could say is if you ended up getting the voice version, you end up missing out on quite a bit of the text because there was so much writing in the game that they couldn't fit it onto the CD with all the voice acting. So they had to eliminate some of it. So if you were to play the non-voice acted version, you'd actually get more out of the game than if you play the voice acted version.
Man, this is really hard. By the way, there's FreddyFarkas.com is still active. It's been run for
Mm-hmm.
24 years by Andrew Zitney. So,
And the
hell yeah.
song.
Thank you, Andrew. It's pretty cool, man.
The song is great. Al wrote the song, but it's not getting a 10 from me.
Yeah, if anybody wants the tabs too, I transcribed the song for that. Feels generous. I quickly figured out the chords in the song because we played it at the fanfare for like our closeout. But yeah, I don't know. I'm talking myself. You know us caught in the moment. I'm tempted to give it a 10 just because I'm having a hard time coming up with any problems with it. I'm not gonna
I'm giving it a 9.
I'm not gonna judge it for its puzzles because I haven't really been ranking anything based on the puzzles because it's all so muddy with
No,
walkthroughs and shit.
it is.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 too, just because I have to show reverence to Sins of the Fathers. Like I don't like it as much as Sins of the Fathers, so I got to give it a 9.
That's kind of how I'm doing that too. Yeah.
Okay.
So next up, we have Quest for Glory 4 that, Paul has, of course, played over and over again to ad infinitum. So I can spend lots and lots of time giving it extra time to talk about it because now I have 2 versions of Quest for Glory 4.
Here we go.
I have the purple box version, thanks to Ryan Fan, and it's signed by Laurie and Corey. That's this one here. And then I have the white box version, which is also signed by Laurie and Corey. And it's great because it has the Hero magazine inside it, which is the Journal of General Job Adjusting, because, you've kind of mailed in your ability to be a hero. So you get cool things like Atlas High Thigh Stair Stepper and like other products that are used in the game and little write-ups about some of the characters. He talks about the Master Thief and gives you some information you need to be able to complete the game in it. It's a beautiful game. It was buggy as hell. Couldn't play it for years. I'm trying to make it not super long so Paul doesn't start tapping his foot at me. But I have my heritage is Russian heritage. So when I was a kid, I grew up with stories of Baba Yaga and Prince Ivan and the Tsar. And so a game like this being set in Mordovia, which is an alternative Russian area, it really hit me right there. It's got the same kind of folklore that I was interested in a kid and story. So beautiful game, very well voice acted. Yeah. I love everything about this game. And if Paul had played it too, we'd be talking about it for a lot longer.
No, for sure. And I'm familiar with the soundtrack, which is really good.
It is. Aubrey did an amazing job, and it's very like rock and roll. And it's been redone outside of digitally. You can find it on YouTube. I'm going to rate this game 20 out of 10, just so that we can have the odds right when we add up the numbers afterwards.
Okay. Wow. What an abuse of
What
power.
an abuse of power, yes. Mixed Up Mother Goose, man. I never played that shit. You?
Yeah, totally. So,
And
a
isn't
lot.
Mixed Up Mother Goose on like every version we've done? Why is
Yeah,
it
it
back
has been.
again?
It
Why do
keeps
we need
sneaking
to
in.
keep talking about this game that I've never played? And why is it back again?
It keeps sneaking in. We covered it on the first one, right? AGI was definitive. SCI 0 was unnecessary because it's not much of an improvement on AGI. And this is Mother Muth.
You
This is
Mother
the
Gooser.
deluxe version. It's on CD. This one's like
Ooh.
overly done. Like I didn't like when Sierra did was like kind of art in this game where it's just got this like, I don't know, coloring book vibe, but not in like a fun saturated childlike way, like in
Right.
a yeah. I'll just leave it there.
Okay.
Whatever, play it or don't, doesn't matter. If you're gonna play it, play it. I was gonna say if you're gonna play it, play the AGI version. But
Yeah,
we're
don't
next. We're moving on to 1994. Ah, fuck! I didn't play this game either. It's King's Quest 7.
Oh, so okay, here I have a big box of King's Quest 7 given to me by Stieg, who was a very, very, very early guest on the podcast. And see, again, I've said it before. I didn't like the game when it first came out. I feel like you guys have all heard this before. And now it's grown on me a little, but I haven't played it again since. It's very cartoon like. I didn't like that Rosella was like, I want to go on an adventure. I've never been on an adventure. And you're like, honey, what were you doing in King's Quest 4? Were you not adventuring? Getting eaten by whales, like getting kidnapped? You almost got married. That was an adventure.
Yeah.
And so I felt like there wasn't a lot of callback to the previous game in this one. And I also felt it was exceptionally easy. There was a rewind button. You could skip chapters if you wanted to. And, but now, here, as a grown up, right now, it's pretty. They did really cool things with the graphics, and I will probably eventually play it again so that I can put out a bit more of a fair idea on what I think about it.
Yeah, I'll play it with you when we do that. What I know
Hmm.
about it is the character regression that you spoke of.
Hmm.
Nobody likes that. Like that's a great way to piss off the whole audience is if you regress the protagonist. Which,
Hmm.
actually, case in point is because this is relevant to the time, let's say, of recording anyway. In October 24, the Joker 2 just came out, and that's what I'm hearing from it is that they just regressed him. Like they just basically
Hmm.
just undid everything the first movie did and regressed him completely, and that's it's not a good move. It's not a good move. And as a result, that movie is doing worse in the box office than Morbius did. Which
Hmm.
how like it's impressive. Honestly, I've never seen a ball dropped like that before. The only other thing I'll say about King's Quest 7 is that it's Daniel Albu's favorite game. Loves it. Can't get enough of it. No, but it is his favorite Sierra game, and I think it is because, on the contrary to what Anna said, um, is because it has a rewind button, because it's more fair, because there's like a Lucas Arts like logic and
See,
fairness
that's
behind
what
it.
I hated about it. It's too easy.
Well, and
It's literally why I didn't like this one.
which is funny because I said to Daniel at the time that Sierra fans are basically like masochists. Like we just love the punishment and the abuse, and that must be why Sierra fans push back against it. And there you are,
Mhm.
just proving it. And I should, for a second of promotion, which I almost failed to do, I did a stream with Daniel playing the Phantom Fellows, which was super fun just
It
last
was
weekend.
so good. Check it
It was
out.
so much fun.
You're gonna drop a link underneath this so people are gonna be like, yes, where can I watch this? It'll be
Exactly.
there.
Yeah,
So
it'll be all tucked away, safe and cozy for you guys. But it was a really good time. Yeah, it was the first time
mhm.
I ever voiced my parts of my own game and stuff like
Oh
that.
my
And
god, you're so
it
good
was a
at
blast.
doing Oliver. I had so much fun listening. The two of you had such a great vibe together. I want
Dude,
more.
love Daniel. Yeah, that was so much
Mhm.
fun. I really
Mhm.
do. And he's awesome.
I
Okay,
agree.
so King's Quest 7 doesn't matter because I didn't play it. Sorry, guys.
Right. So Space Quest 6 is hang on. Let me just reach for the box, kids.
uh, while she's reaching for her box, I will say that Space Quest 6, Roger Wilco in the Spinal Frontier, man, this game polarizes me to myself. It's on one hand, I really, really love it, and on the other hand, I hate everything about it and what it did to the timeline. I don't if okay, all right. Here's an articulation of my thoughts. If I was to judge it as part of the Space Quest series, I'd be harsher on it. Sorry for that weird whistle, like the beaver and Lady and the Tramp. Um, if I was to judge it as a sort of standalone game, then I really like it. Like I do really like the game. it, I just don't like how what it does to the canon. It frustrates me. It frustrates me in the same sense that Rosella frustrated you, Anna, with King's Quest 7, where she's like, I just want to go on an adventure, and it's just like, dude, like who, you guys.
Consistency
I,
police, where are you?
I feel like that scene from Clue where flames on the side of my face. Like I just have this rage where it's like, how can you not just have played your own shit before you made the new one? It's ridiculous. Um, anyway, as a standalone game, I really like it. You get to explore new worlds. There's like a heavily dystopian vibe about the first world that you're dropped off in Space Quest 6 that I really really like. Um, it's a bit hard. The integration of the 3D cutscenes and stuff like that are clunky as of the time, but it shouldn't be judged on that. So the information superhighway is really fun, where you get to like walk through like an early PC, let's say. Um, there's some bugs with it. There's some issues that are mostly ironed out now, thanks to the good people at Scum VM and was it New Rising Sun patches and stuff like that. As Sierra help that one particularly got me through it. Actually, I think it was a save game that got me through the bug that I had. Doesn't matter. I don't like with the whole Beatrice situation. I didn't like what they did. I can never remember what's the one with the hot dogs on her forehead. Do we know her name?
What, her name?
Yeah. See, okay, that proves my point. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They played it too fast and loose. Um, and so, God, I don't know how to rank this, but let me hand it to you before we even get to that. What do you think?
Well, at least it came with in-game goodies. You've got your sanitation hotspot from Polysorbate LX, which is, your little fun guide. It came with a little having trouble guide. It's a great big box. It's sort of like, it's more square and wide than a lot of the other boxes. It was fun, like it was memorable. I remember being excited when it came out because I'd been waiting ages and ages and ages, years and years and years for the newest Space Quest game, and I loved 5. And so when this one came out, it had been quite a few years, like I said, since I'd played the one before it, because I didn't quite get it all at the same time. And so I didn't even really notice inconsistencies. It's a game that could use a hotspot indicator if any game could. There is so much detailed drawing, artwork, and clutter, and there's lots of places to click on. It was inconsistent, but it was fun. I didn't like Skinny Tall Roger. The arcade game was kind of funny. The Stooge Fighter. It's a 8 out of 10 from me.
I love
8
you
out
had
of
his
10.
little quarters that you could retire to. That was really good.
Mhm.
I didn't mind I didn't mind Roger's vibe. I liked it
No.
in this case actually. Contrary, see, it was handled differently, but the purposeful deconstruction of the character. This is, I guess, an example of how to deconstruct a character from the previous one. And but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm saying I'm playing it fast and loose. That's maybe confusing to the audience. So it's like I didn't like how they almost, to be melodramatic about it, disrespected the lore and just
Mhm.
completely ignored Beatrice, but then they didn't even do you the dignity of ignoring her completely, because they throw in like this one gaslighting line about her that makes her like a throwaway.
Yeah, that he
Really,
wasn't even like, he almost regretted his decision to have anything to do with her in the first place, essentially.
right. Like it would have been better if they just
Mhm.
ignored her the whole time. Then you could at least tell yourself it took place in a different
Yeah. No, he was like
timeline, or
resentful of her, I swear, the way that they framed it. And I'm like, it would not have been the case. Like,
it,
that's not real. Like, you didn't put thought into this.
yeah, it was not handled with grace, that part.
Mm-mm.
Everything about me that's annoying and pedantic and too nerdy doesn't like this game, but at the end of the day, I do love this game. Like I love
Mhm.
Space Quest so much. I love all
I
of
love
them.
it. I love
Um,
this one too. I love the humor. I thought it was funny. I love the objects. I would always say to people when I was a kid, "Oh, it's okay if you lose an arm or an eye. You can just go see Fester, and he'll hook you up.
right, right.
Like he's got the shit."
And I was just gonna say, seeing Fester in what was high definition compared to the last time we'd seen him in Space Quest 3, like it was so
It's
cool.
true.
Like I still remember seeing him for the first time. So anyway, I'm gonna give Space Quest 6 a 9.
Yeah. Well, then you're making me make it an 8.5. Thanks. I'm so influenced by you, clearly.
Samesies. To
Yeah.
you, not to, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I influence myself too. You'd be surprised at how much I believe in what I say. Truly just the opposite, folks. You've heard us on this show. We might be wrong. We often are.
Yeah, no, blissfully okay with it.
I said that I was in one short eye stream and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this." And I have a 70% accuracy rate.
Right.
He's like, "I'll just look it up." I'm like, good call.
Oh, you saying that makes me feel now I'm down to 60% sure.
Oh
Just
no.
like
And falling.
right.
Okay.
All right. 1995 brings us Phantasmagoria, and
Let me
makes
just
me
pick up
makes
my
me harken
box.
back to one of my favorite episodes on this show, which was our first interview with David Lee Holm. That was such a good time.
Yes,
Um,
it was one of those, like, living room roundtable conversations. The second one, we had a few sound quality issues, so if you're actually gonna take the time to bother, go back and see what the heck we're talking about. The first, interview was the best one.
yeah, just great chemistry, the whole room. That was a lot of fun.
Mhm. It
Um,
was.
I really like Phantasmagoria because I mean, I don't know. I'm always hesitant to how much nostalgia is a given in a podcast like ours, where it's just like, do I
Mhm.
need to like beat the audience to death with that every time?
Mhm.
Like, so there is that. I'll leave it there. But growing up with this game was like it was like an event getting this game. Um, I remember like it coming into the house. I remember being like marveling with my brother and dad at the amount of CDs that it had, and I remember being allowed to watch them play it.
Mhm. Mhm.
um, it makes me have this very Oliver Twist like vibe there. Like, oh please, can I watch you play, Father? But it was
Please, add another scene. Just one more. Just one more.
but it was a big deal, and like being because this came out in what 95, so I would have been 11.
Mhm.
With
Very impressionable age to learn about, what to do with the lady in the bathroom.
right, yeah, right. Thank you. So I would have been 11. I don't know. I was thinking I was a little bit younger, but yeah, I would have been 11. Um, I don't know. I guess at the same time it was a bit of a different time. We didn't play it at all fast and loose back in the day. Like granted, 95. Like this is when "Eat My Shorts" was like an offensive statement that
Mhm.
parents were outraged about, right? And Mortal
Mhm.
Kombat was a deal breaker. So it was a different time. So 11. That is still a little weird to me though, because my parents were quite progressive in that sense. Like I wasn't really restricted very often. Well, I mean, then again, here I am saying that I was allowed to play it, so that solves that. Or watch them play it, whatever. Point is, this game was an event to me growing up. So like, it's like a core memory in a sense, more so than even some of my like beloved Sierra games, just because like our whole house gathered around the CRT for this one. It was a big
Mhm.
deal, and it was, you know. Uh, it wanted to be game changing.
Mhm.
I'm not sure it
It was
actually.
supposed to revolutionize the whole goddamn
Right.
industry. Talk about game changing, like production value, $3.5 million budget, like the screens, the imagination, and Roberta being right there every step of the way to make sure it all went the way that it was supposed to. The acting, the death scenes, the amount of script, a book like the size of the biggest dictionary you could imagine, because it's not just one script, it's like four scripts all wrapped up into one script. There's so much goddamn everything there that it had to have either been everything to the entertainment industry or nothing. And unfortunately, yeah, nothing is kind of like it. They did play around with the idea, and we saw it in games like Toonstruck, where they thought, Virgin Interactive thought, Sierra thought this was going to be the next bread and butter for the fans.
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't know. To a small degree, it was successful in that it wasn't like the birth and death at the same time, right? It's
Hmm.
not like it came out and everybody's like, yeah, no, this is not. Like it came out and it definitely inspired a tiny little microcosm of an industry to erupt and died quite shortly after that, but still like it inspired further FMV games, particularly by other studios. Or arguably FMV was arguably bigger in all the other studios because they were the ones going after Christopher Walkens and things like this. But back to Phantasmagoria itself, it's fun. It's I guess you could say kitschy in a sense. I think it's exactly what it's supposed to be. Like I don't know how serious it was taking itself at the time. I suspect a little more seriously than I would almost like to admit for it. But for example, I tell the story of Phantasmagoria to my kid when he asks for a spooky story. Like it's
Hmm.
my fallback because I do that a lot when he asks for stories. I tell him adventure game stories because you can frame them like nice and easily, and like they're pretty rich in lore, and makes for a good 20-minute tale to your kid. But
Hmm.
just recently we were walking outside in the dark and it was a full moon, and we have a bunch of little bats that live in some of our evergreens here, and they were flying above us picking off mosquitoes generously, and he's like, tell me a scary story. And so I went with the story of Don and Adrian. So I don't know. I'm very charmed by this game, even though
Hmm.
it is what it is. So I'm gonna ask you to rank it first because I'm like,
I came into it a little bit later in the game, so I'm gonna rank it a little lower than the other ones, but I did really enjoy it. It's getting an 8.
Okay. I just remembered I could be doing halves this whole time.
Hmm.
I might retroactively change something. Okay, all right. Phantasmagoria, I'm gonna give an 8.5.
Nice. Which one are you gonna change retroactively? The Freddy?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna give Freddy
Yeah.
9.5.
I thought so.
Good call. Okay, so that moves us on to 1996, Phantasmagoria 2: A Puzzle of Flesh.
Now I do not have this big box.
Wow,
Yeah.
the shame in your voice right now is it's making me sad. It's kind of adorable. I'm so sorry.
I have two Phantasmagoria ones if anybody wants to trade. A 1 and a
Right.
2. I also have a signed Phantasmagoria one. Thanks, David, for that. But that's not the one I want to trade. But no, I do not own the second one. And I freaking loved it. As a late stage addition to my memoir of games that I've played. It was deep, it was unsettling. I even loved the crazy ending. Actually, think I like this better than Phantasmagoria 1.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
did we play this game together time wise?
Mm,
Like for an episode, I guess.
probably.
Like because
Why else would I have played a game?
well, that's fair. It's rare that we discover a game at the same time, right? Like
Mhm,
usually, like one of the other had played it and we're refreshing or whatever. But yeah, I think we both discovered this one at the same time because I think I kind of remember coming out of it with the
mhm.
same kind of chemistry, the same like shock. Like holy shit,
Yeah.
this had no business being that good.
I really liked it. I really
Yeah,
liked the merging of like the computer text coming alive and changing and all these
dude,
like
it's good
crazy things
storytelling.
and the
It's just
ambiance and yeah, hell yeah. I really like it. I'm sticking it up at a 9 because I was shocked at how good that was.
damn. I'm sorry to jump around, but I got to give Phantasmagoria 1 an 8 now because that's for
Yeah.
perspective. Okay, so for Phantasmagoria 2, I got to give it a 9 too because it's a remarkable story. Like it's really fun. I
Oh
like what else
man,
do you
I
want from a
can't.
game? Like it gave me everything. Yeah, the ending was bullshit, and maybe it'd be a 9.5 if it wasn't for that. Because it was a little frustrating. Like it
It was a
wasn't
little
just
fast. They played it fast and loose because it made you reconsider Curtis's feelings throughout the whole game. Like, because if he's not representing as he was, then his whole mindset would have potentially not been the same. And maybe it even takes away a little bit from the depth of his relationships with some of the other characters.
right. That's what the problem was. Besides it having just one of the most ridiculous puzzles of all time. Like
Yeah, that rat.
it was
Yeah.
so hard. Even a walkthrough doesn't get you through it, which is
Mhm.
frustrating because everything grinds to a halt for a frustrating hour or three. But it's like the otherworldly part. I don't even feel like it belonged in this script. Like it just
Mhm.
whatever
Well, it
the
was cartoony, and they said it was because they ran out of money and they ran out of budget, and they didn't have enough to do the ending that they wanted, and they essentially had to animate it. They did not want to do that.
I just think the whole I don't know. I almost argue that the whole alien part like it should have stayed psychological. I think is what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say. I don't think it needed sci-fi.
It could have been ambiguous.
Right. Right. Yeah. It just didn't need the sci-fi. It could have just stayed psychological because that's what the whole game is basically the psychological.
Uh,
You don't
the
trust the
first
narrator. You don't know who you are, and like that's the angle, man. That's why it was so great. And then at the end, it just gets a little circusy.
I'm sorry, I had to change. Now I made Phantasmagoria 1 7.5. And Phantasmagoria 2, I'm still leaving it a 9.
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody listening, if you haven't played it, it's so good.
Yeah, totally play it.
It's a
Oh my
lot better
god.
than the first one. Like
Shocker.
it's
Yeah.
like as a game. I mean, everybody, you all heard me a minute ago. My Phantasmagoria rating at an 8 is generous because of what it was to me growing up.
Yeah.
As a game, it's. I don't want to
Not.
shit on it. It's nowhere near as good as this one though.
No,
This is
it
just like
is
a
not.
straight up just like good game, like on its own,
Mhm.
good storytelling. Yeah. Okay. So number three, this one will be quick, or not number three. Sorry, 1995. Number three on our look. It's the third SCI 3 game, but we agreed ahead of time to not confuse you guys with the SCI version numbers. Doesn't matter. 1995 is Gabriel Knight 2: The Beast Within. Anna didn't play this. I think we just said this on the air a minute ago, right? Where you
Yeah.
might play it, blah blah blah. You guys were there. Fantastic.
It'll happen. I started it and I will continue it.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll talk about it then. I think it's awesome. I think it's a really good game.
I don't have the big box for it,
I'm on.
but
What? Sorry, that
but
scared me.
I have a fan-based comic done by Bruce Bernese that is
Nice.
signed for Gabriel Knight 2, The Beast Within.
Awesome. Love Bruce. I'm looking at his black hole.
Mhm.
I don't know what you call this. I get it's like a gigantic mouse pad, but
Yeah.
it's not meant for that.
No, it's one of those dice for the
Yeah,
game,
they're
the
very
cards
nice.
and games, and yeah,
Yeah,
a
exactly.
gamepad, I guess. Except to me, a gamepad is a controller, but whatever.
I like the slight disgust in your voice when you said whatever. Whatever. Fucking nerds with your dice.
Damn it. Why do I have to be like this? Oh my god.
All right, we got pretty much one more. We got two more, but I didn't play the last one. So anyway, Leisure Suit Larry 7, Love for Sale.
Just a moment, let me grab my box.
Okay, well, and once again, it's a Larry game. I could force another box joke on you guys. I think you're all sick of it, which is
So
fair.
in Leisure Suit Larry 7, you get to meet Captain Thigh, and then like this Demi Moore instead of Demi Moore, Demi Moore, right? Victorian principles. And
You
why
originally
don't
said it
you?
like dewdrop. It was very confusing. I get it now, though.
Oh no, I do that sometimes. And then the Jugs instead of the Judd sisters, it's the Jug sisters. But no, this game is fun because you're playing a freaking cartoon, man. It starts you in danger. You're on a boat. And although it's a little bit repetitive, you have a goal. You're trying to win all of the contests. You can type and you can point and click.
Yeah.
That's right. One of the very few games out there, a Starship Titanic would be another one, which was on the other list, by the way, that I didn't
Oh,
select.
cool.
I
Right.
had played. I missed that. But anyways, so there's actually funny and unique responses, but you can not type all the way through and never type in it. Like you can choose to just play it the one way. I think, and I believe that Al has said so on our podcast. He thinks as well that this is one of the best adventure games potentially ever made.
Al would say that.
It's a swan song.
It's really good. I was
It
going to
is.
ask you before you had said that. Even is this the best Larry?
It has a scratch and sniff inside.
Right. That is +1 towards it being. I
And then it'll show like a little number on the screen, and then you scratch and sniff the indicator area. It doesn't smell as good anymore, but I have a sealed scratch and sniff card as well with my compilation that might smell better.
Right. Isn't that a paradox? The only ones left in the world that still smell are sealed, so you'll still
Yeah.
never know.
No, not unless I open it. I'm not opening it now. But anyways, fucking right. I'm sorry. It was a good show. Over 2 million Larry games were sold. This says, hang on. Dear Mr. Lowe, you and your team are nothing better than sick thieving perverts. Signed, a devoted fan. That's an actual letter on file, and that's on the back of the box.
Awesome. Love a good public shaming.
It's beautiful, man. This game is good, and I'm going to jump right in there with a 9.5.
Wow. Okay. I'm a little hesitant on how to approach this one myself because I haven't played it in like 20 years. It might be the only adventure game I played between 2000 and 2010.
I watched Daniel and Al stream it together and do like a talk behind the scenes kind of dealy on it, and it was bloody marvelous. I never realized that the fountain in the main lobby that has the water fountain it's the two poles coming down on either side of the fountain were legs, and the fountain itself runs yellow water. It's pee.
I don't know how you didn't get that.
I did not get that at all. I missed it.
Yeah, it's not as cryptic as you might think, listeners. It was
Golden fountain.
it's a very
golden
dick-headed
shower.
fountain. So it's
Well, no, it's a girl peeing though.
is it?
Yeah, it's two legs and it's just piss coming up and out of the like a golden shower. At least that's what I got it from it.
Well, I don't know. She should have hydrated before that. It's just impolite, honestly. There's a way to do that and a way not to do it, and I just
That's true. So what, you're not giving it a 9.5 then because it's been so long?
um I mean, among other reasons, but no, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I actually have no idea how to rank this. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
So I've said it before on the podcast. It'll come as no surprise that I didn't like King's Quest VII very much, and I did like Quest for Glory. So when King's Quest VIII, Mask of Eternity came out, I was like, well, a freaking rights. At least it's more like a Quest for Glory game. I can do some killing. I can, kill the chickens or whatever, and I can steal stuff, and I can explore and have fights and the sounds. And it was tricky too because the loading screen took forever on my old computer. But anyways, everything about it stuck with me. I actually did complete it. I liked it. I liked it more than I ever thought I was. So I'm going to look at what I'm not going to rate it because Paul hasn't played it. But if I would have given The Princeless Bride a 6.5, I would have actually given Mask of Eternity a 7.5.
7 point. Really?
I like that game, and I might even rate it higher. But
I was expecting higher. Yeah.
when I got back to playing it again as a grown up, I had a harder time getting into it. That's why I didn't rate it higher.
Why do you think that was? Was that because it was hard to look at?
No, not at all. I was just having a hard time with the controls, and I mean, watching Space Quest Historian navigate it so beautifully when he was doing the run throughs with Connor naked with just a fig leaf on satisfied my
That's what that was.
urge.
Thank you. That's the only visual I've had in my head for 7 minutes, and I was like, "Where is that from?" Right.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So
Okay, so they're ranked, and we're gonna say how they did now.
gosh, that took you such a long time, Paul. Everybody's gone to sleep now. Are they even still here?
I haven't I haven't figured out how to present that to the audience yet. Like I feel very just like dumping it on their lap. Like, here, take the ranking. Take it. But they're ranked. They're in order from 7 downwards. See, I make it painful on them. There's nothing fun about the way I'm presenting this at all. Where it's just like, but no, this is super fun, you guys. Come on, where's the spirit? Don't you want to see how your game did? None of them. Anna, here's a fun fact. None of them are 10s.
What?
Yeah, first
Aren't
time.
we brutal? You know what? This is funny. This is a funny little era.
It is a funny little area. You're right. It's divisive because we both had 10s, but they didn't land on the same game. Did you have a 10? Actually, now that I'm saying that.
No, I did
Wow,
not.
stingy.
A little bit.
Damn. Okay. Well,
Well, I would have. It would have been my 10 was Quest for Glory 4.
right. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, that is my 10. And that's why I gave Freddy Farkas a 9, because it wasn't as good for me personally as Quest for Glory 4.
I know why Freddy got a 9, but I'm not saying it here.
That's fair.
Okay. Number 7, Phantasmagoria. With an average, this is a good call on the decimals, with an average of 7.75, even though I vehemently fought it like 3 episodes ago.
It's all right. We're always willing to move ahead and learn.
Exactly. So Phantasmagoria, yes, it ranks number 7 with a 7.75. I don't know how you can get a 0.75 between the two of us, but whatever. I trust the math, I guess.
Yeah.
Next is Leisure Suit Larry 6.
Mm-hmm.
Came in at 8.25.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Space Quest 6. Wow, the lowest a Space Quest has ever landed at an 8.75.
Ouch.
How are these getting quarter decimals?
It's because when you put two numbers together, it pulls one down and the other up. That's how averages work. And because we're now using decimals, it opens up the door to decimals.
All right, well, listen, stay in school, kids, because...
Otherwise, life is very confusing.
Number 4, Leisure Suit Larry 7, with a 9.0, which actually I guess is tied. Ah, shit, this isn't at a 7 at all because there's so many ties here. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Phantasmagoria 2 got a 9.0 as well. So Larry and Phantas 2 both got 9.0s. That tracks. I feel like
Yeah,
that's fair.
that sounds good.
Um, and then tied for number one, damn it, we still have a tie for one even with decimals, is Freddie Farkas and Gabriel Knight, both with 9.25s.
No, we'd have to be like, I give it a 9.1, and you'd be like, I give it a 9.7.
Yeah, we should do it really
Next
pretentiously next
episode.
time. Yeah.
Let's do that. 9.7. Let's take it to 2 decimal points.
Right, exactly. Yeah, let's ensure we can't figure out the ultimate ranking at the end. I love it.
So our winner is da 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 da.
Gabriel and Freddie
Right.
tied at number one. In second place, Phantaz 2 and Leisure Suit Larry 7 and student numbers. And in third place, standing alone, is Space Quest 6. There's your podium. So that's it. Before Anna says a bunch of stuff at you, I just want to say thank you everybody for your feedback on the Phantom Falls. It's been um, overwhelmingly positive. The reviews, the feedback, everything has been suspiciously positive. Like, wow, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you to Hotspot for their incredible review. Thank you to immediately
Adventure
get
Gamers as well.
thank you to Adventure Gamers for a 4.5 out of 5. Thank you to the various other press peoples who from across the globe, which is trippy in itself, that have come out and given it 8s and 9s and really good scores with nice things to say. And thank you to a potential listener, Michael Locke. It probably feels extremely called out right now because you wouldn't have expected it, but I think you listened to the show and you said just one of the most incredibly cool, kind reviews that I've read on the game. You had put under the Hotspot review in the chat there, and I just wanted to thank you for that. That meant a lot to me. It was really cool because I felt like I felt like you were realizing how much you adored the game as you wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really cool. And some of the specific notes that you struck on about why you liked it meant a lot to me. And I was glad they were picked up on, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you to Michael Locke, who, if I'm reading the room correctly, I think listens to the show at least occasionally. So that one's for you. And then otherwise, I'm all over the place right now because of the game. So I'm sure you've had enough of me. So go ahead and just take a break, take the night, and then tomorrow check out Conversations with Curtis, doing a playthrough with Daniel Albu, as we mentioned earlier, which was so much fun. I'm actually gonna watch that back myself, and I only say actually because it's tough to look at your own face for extended periods of time, but I had a lot of fun doing that. So check that out. It was a good time. It was good bantery fun. If you like this podcast, you'd probably actually enjoy that. Unless you're planning to play the game and you haven't yet, it is an entire playthrough of the first 2 days. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also on the Adventure Game Podcast with Sersha, which is another really fun interview. That is half Phantom Fellows and half two adventure game podcasters talking about what that's like, and it's just a lot of fun. Serge is an awesome guy, and I had a really good time doing that. So you could check me out over there. And I think that's it for the time being. There's an interview on One Short Eyes channel. If I hadn't mentioned that before, it's been in our description before, but you could check that out as well. And just a lot of good Phantom Fellows press stuff. And again, just
And
thank you.
Space Quest Historian did a playthrough of the first chapter and some of the second chapter on his second channel as well of the Phantom Fellows.
Thank you for that. Yes, that's another one I need to watch too. And now's the perfect time too, because I just put some patches up last night. I finally have no bugs to fix tonight, so I might check that out myself.
Oh no, I better get busy. I'll find you some.
Yeah. Oh god, why did I say that?
What have I done? I was trying to enjoy my Sunday. Oh my god. Here I am thinking I'm doing wrong because I'm not finding the bugs, and he's like, "No, it's okay. You find some later."
Thank you for everybody for your support, for playing the game. If you're playing it and you're liking it, make sure you tell me, post, do little socially things to help me out if you don't mind. We're still trying to figure out how to really market this thing. I'm still trying to get the attention, let's say, of bigger publications like PC Gamer and Kotaku and all those guys. So anything helps. If there's a screenshot that made you laugh and you posting that around, like those little acts right there mean a lot to me, and would really help me out as far as continuing this solo dev journey, man. And then what else? Last thing on the game, if you're gonna pick it up on GOG.
Mhm.
The end.
DRM free, yo.
Yes. Oh, and Anna, you might know the name. There's one person in our Patreon who I still owe a soundtrack to, and I'm going to address that very shortly.
Yes.
Um, look, you know who you are because you're like, where's my soundtrack? So I'm going to
That
get
would
it to
be
you.
Tim Ellis.
Right, Tim Ellis. Thank you. Yeah, Tim, I got you. I mean, I didn't for a period there, but but I re-got you. I re-got you now. Coming out of the haze of bugs, because Anna found a new way to find bugs, guys, and it was extremely effective. My God, it's been a week.
I just
And
don't even know why I couldn't figure. You know what though? I'm going to know this at first for in the future, right?
that's,
Like
yes,
it's a
true.
lot of learning. Yeah.
True. No, it's actually been awesome. The game is a lot tighter even now. So anyway, that being said, I'm free until she plays the game again. And so I'll be hooking that stuff up, watching videos. Okay, Anna, say your thing, your piece.
Right. Thanks again to our Patreon members for believing in us and supporting the show, especially to the people in the True Believer tier, that being
I
Gareth.
was wondering why you said believe in it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, it all fits.
Adorable.
It's so cute. Yeah, and Mick, who's Gareth and Mick, or everybody in this list are absolutely all amazing people because the gaming community is one of the most amazing, supportive communities out there. Brian Manown, Jay Holmes, Jeffrey Couch, Mark Fillion, Tim Ellis, and all of you, the new subscribers as well that I mentioned briefly. Alan May, who got his T-shirt, he won a CGG podcast T-shirt. Emil Levin and Ryan Fan, and everybody else in every other tier that just has at any time thought of us as something that puts a little bit of value into your day in any way, shape, or form. Thank you for believing in us. It helps us to believe in ourselves as well, and thanks to that, we now know that we're real. Maybe I think we're real. We met each other now, so I guess we are real.
Yeah, no, we can prove that. And also, your tax dollars at work, Anna, as y'all might have immediately noticed, has a new microphone and sounds fantastic. And the funds from that came directly from Patreon. So you guys bought her a new mic.
Thank you. Yeah, I've
Right?
been enjoying the hell out of it. I'm very, very happy, and I'm hoping that it makes a difference out to you because my voice was driving me a little nuts, not just because of what I sound like, what the transference between me and the sharper image microphone that I was using to talk to you guys.
I'm not even sure they're in business anymore. Oh no, that's Radio Shack. Doesn't matter. But
Doesn't
yeah, no.
matter.
Every time we cut or do a break, Anna starts like ASMR whispering into the mic. It's nice, honestly.
It's a thing. It's a whole. I can hear myself now, and I'm just all tripped out by all of it. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening to the show and our rankings that are not consistent, irreverent, and make absolutely no sense, but are tinged with nostalgia. We love that you guys love it, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, check out the Phantom Fellows. As you know, it's out now. Buy it on GOG, but it's out on other platforms. I won't even tell you what they are because you're supposed to buy it on GOG. So that's fine. But you can say hi to us on Twitter, CGG Podcast, and at The Phantom Fellows. You can check out thephantomfellows.com that has links to not only this podcast, but merch for this podcast, merch for The Phantom Fellows, music for The Phantom Fellows, and even previous music that Paul has done in the past as well, and links to everything else that you'd like in regards to the Phantom Fellows universe. So go check that out, thephantomfellows.com, and give us an email, just like our friend, I believe it's Dan, we got a really lovely email just a couple weeks ago, and we are going to address it on the next episode. We've actually gotten a few lovely emails lately, so we're gonna talk about it, say thank you. Paul learned that there's a fan of the show that's not too far from him, geographically wise. So all sorts of really cool stuff coming up on the next episode when we actually prepare better. Patreon, we're on there at the Classic Gamers Guild without the Classic Gamers Guild minus the. We're also a page and a group on Facebook, so you can find us there, the Classic Gamers Guild. We're also on Instagram, and we're on YouTube, and all of our old episodes are up on YouTube in no particular order because I'm still trying to figure that out. So, but they are all there. So
I like when it's pronounced kind of with that British tube. We're on YouTube. But yeah, all the stuff Anna said is true. Are you done saying stuff?
I am.
Good. I'm so hungry. Oh my God. All right. We're going to go eat rice cakes. Don't do a murder. He's such a slut, my cat.
Yeah, they all are.
Fuck, do I have to cut that because I did the accent?
You can keep it.
Cool.
Oh wait. Oh, is it a bad thing?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where the line is. I feel like we're not allowed to have any fun anymore.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, shit.